I wanted to do another short reading from my book 1, 2, 3 Meditate, and this one is on the divine feminine, how we can approach the eternal as essentially as the Holy Spirit, but the Holy Spirit capable of manifesting in many forms. Bear with me. I know that might sound strange to some, but it's truly logical, as we've seen in some of the other videos, and also something that the sages and saints of all traditions, including the Christian tradition, have experienced directly. I'll talk about Teresa of Avila and her ecstasies and her absorption into that eternal heart, and also her experience of samadhi, what the yogis call samadhi, when her heart completely became calm and even ceased to beat, and what happened next. So let's take a look here at this chapter called Who is She? And that is the Divine Mother, and I offer to her today, which is common custom in many parts of the world, my heart, and some flowers and that small plush heart. To that one who is one with all communities of faith. Who is she? Then who is the king's daughter? Why, the soul herself. Sages from all traditions have declared that distinctions of masculine and feminine are lost in the one vast spirit. Still, many meditation masters teach that the female avatars have embodied the wisdom of Divine Mother. We have already talked briefly about the ecstasies of Teresa of Avila, how she was so fully caught up into the bliss of spirit that she lost all thought of the world, and even her body became caught up in absolute silence. During absorptions, Teresa's heart would sometimes stop beating. And again, that's that Sabhikalpa Samadhi, and I've had something very similar, as have others that I know, including my mother. Her breath would cease, and she would remain absorbed in that power of love, which reminds us that life is greater than the heart's need to beat. So again, that experience is real, and the heart starts again by itself. My mother's had that experience. I've had that experience, or very close to it, where the heart became very, very quiet, and then comes again. My mother is also a Kriya yogi, as is my father. That higher logic of love is what Teresa ultimately came to embody, and she sometimes had visions of the absolute in feminine form. But who is she, with a capital S? Some masters, like Mirabai, have stated that the soul is by nature feminine, especially in its relation to the absolute spirit. Once when Mirabai was refused conference with the king because of her sex, she told the messenger to return with this message: "Tell the king that the only male I know in this universe is God alone." When the king heard her response, he humbly welcomed Mirabai. Mirabai also expressed eloquently that the one need for the soul to find freedom is the need to love. It is not the externals of religion or even of meditation that liberate the soul, but a true and sincere love for the vast spirit of love itself. But who is she? Love itself. A love that is tough but tender. A love that does not take no for an answer. Yogananda writes about one master meditator, Lalla Yogiswari, who was a complete renunciant. Having shunned all possessions, even the seemingly necessary possession of clothing, she was upbraided by some of her misunderstanding villagers. Lala's response was not entirely unlike Mirabai's response to the king. "Why do I observe nudity? Because I see no men about." In her supreme and extreme dispassion, Lala had found the comfort and concealment of clothing redundant. A sky-clad devotee of Lord Shiva, she had learned to endure the bitter cold of dark nights and a blind society. Of course, there is room in the religions of the world, especially in India, for the worship of the Absolute as the universal mother. This liberating concept enables each and all to find liberation through a loving dependence on the maternal aspects of God. It is true that many Christian saints, including Teresa of Avila, enjoyed visions of the infinite in the form of the Mother of the universe. Yogananda himself, after losing his physical mother at a tender age, had a soothing and uplifting vision of the universal mother, who spoke to him and soothed him with these words: "Ever have I loved thee, always shall I love thee. Ever have I loved thee, always shall I love thee. And Yogananda promises the Divine Mother loves us all equally in that tender embrace. If the glory of the king's daughter is within her, as Eckhart says, and that glory is supernal, as the sages all attest, then it behooves us to know that great glory through devotion, not only to the transcendent masculine qualities of the divine, but also the immanent feminine qualities. These qualities the soul possesses in full, and it is through a right knowledge of the soul that we learn that great source, that we become one with that great source directly. Through this abiding, through the praise of the one infinite consciousness manifesting to us as the soul itself, we dare to sunder the veils of illusion and embrace the one who is all virtuous and all conquering. But who is she? Yes, today we remember that the beloved can take many forms to please the sincere desire for her devotees. Not only have there been many female sages in all traditions, from Mary to Mirabai, but there have been many, many visions of the Absolute manifesting in the form of the Mother of Infinite Compassion. Meditation masters like Yogananda suggest that those souls who are seeking solace and sympathy will find it most quickly in the embrace of the Divine Feminine, the Divine Mother herself. If we believe love heals and enlightens in total, we soon discover this love to be omnipotent. It can even take the form of the Mother whose presence continues to guide and illuminate thousands, billions, around the globe. Let us meditate with them on that divine soul quality of compassion. Since our Mother loves us with an infinite love and is eager to restore us to union with her, to her infinite love, let us pause now to rest with her and with those masters who have recognized her or even embodied her. Here in the West, many Catholics and other open-minded seekers acknowledge the apparitions of the Immaculate Conception to St. Bernadette Soubirous, of Our Lady of Guadalupe, and many others. It is worth noting that Bernadette in her diary noted that the one who had appeared to her multiple times in 1858 in Lourdes, France, today a place of ecumenical pilgrimage, was none other than the Universal Mother herself. Let us remain open to the grace that comes to us as we learn to trust the omnipotent love which is full of kindness, forgiveness, and universal sympathy, and omnipotence. So if we're interested in dialogue about enlightenment and about the universality of love and the ecumenical capacity of building bridges between what sometimes seem impossible spaces, religious and dogmatic traditions, both in science and in the humanities and in religion, then we begin to realize that a very simple thing like proffering a flower, proffering a rose to the beloved in whatever form we see her, will begin to help us transform our thinking and find that peace and that harmony and the experience of divine love which empowers us completely. If you have any thoughts or questions, obviously, I invite you to share them. Just keep them thoughtful and respectful. Thank you for your time, and God bless you. Namaste. Let's see where the video is here. Oh, didn't play, huh? Okay. Calming our Ah, there it is. I don't want to record that again, so you'll just have to ignore that trailer. Peace.